Hey everybody, my name is Scary Spikes and welcome to this extremely clickbaity version of the next Star Citizen video. Now stay tuned because we're going to be talking about a Goliath, a titan of a workhorse that everybody can afford. It's a wonderful ship that I can't wait to show and share with you, but of course before we get started with that, our usual formalities. And just as with this video being a little bit different, this next part is going to be a little bit different as well. It's going to be a little bit longer and very fittingly because it is very much overdue. I'd like to give a big shout out, thank you, and really pass along all of my gratitude to a very special lady in my life. And of course, I'm talking about Lady Spikes. Now, I know you haven't seen her that much in Discord because she's rather new, but I think that she will appreciate this as she does watch my videos and she's been supporting what I've been doing with this channel since about 2014 and even well before that when we met long before then. Lady Spikes has been an incredible friend, companion, and just an incredible human being. She's always been there for me through thick and thin and supported me professionally and personally in many different situations. Many of you out there, I'm sure, know what I'm talking about as you also have a very special person in your life, but I couldn't get by the fact that I haven't done a shout out for her yet, and I know that she watches my videos and will very likely appreciate this. So, Lady Spikes, thank you so very much for all that you do to help me do what I do. If you haven't already, make sure to jump into our Twitch. We stream Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. over on Twitch. Of course, that's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, my local time zone. And of course, we have a wonderful Discord community that you would love to be a part of. We have some really, truly incredible and amazing people there who would love to meet, chat, and play with you. So come on by and say hello. Links for both are in the description below. Well, with all of that out of the way, I think we're finally about to get started with this video. And for those of you who are still here, you're in for a treat. Let's go. So what is this mystery ship? Well, it's definitely not going to be the Carrack because we've already done a video on that, and you can click on the card on the top right hand corner of the screen if you haven't seen that one just yet. Now we're going to be talking about a different kind of ship, a ship that is a titan of a workhorse. It's something that everybody can afford, whether in real life dollars or in game UEC. It's something that fits into the Carrack twice, but yet it's something that hasn't been talked about too much. And yes, I am looking at the floor on purpose because I don't want to give it away until I have to. Until then, I'm just going to keep you salivating, giggity, and keep talking about this wonderful gem of a ship. Now, if you haven't noticed, this ship is part of the Ship Showdown, and at this point you probably already know what it is, but for those who don't, it's honestly the best ship in Star Citizen, and subjectively so. The reason why it's so good is because it's so flexible. You can use it with the rest of your fleet, you can use it by itself, you can do a whole lot of things with it. And of course, that ship is the Argo Cargo. I know. This is a meme machine, especially in the last couple of weeks, since it's been absolutely plowing the Crusader C2 Hercules on the Ship Showdown. But look at this thing. What's not to love? You have so many ingress and egress points, starting with the hatches on the side. And of course, you also have your canopy, which you can get in from the left-hand side. Or the right-hand side. We also have this little docking collar up here, although I think it's more of an escape hatch, but that's pretty cool to have on something this size. And then of course, we also have the back ramp. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. I'm just kidding. This is an honestly really cool ship. I do want to talk a little bit more about what you could use it for, especially when you own a Carrack like I do. Now, there's not too much space in here, but again, we'll talk a little bit about how much space and what you can put in here when we get into the internals of the ship and start talking about upgrades, for which, honestly, there's not too much. But this will definitely carry some cargo units, as well as allow someone to sit here in the back as a passenger, And honestly, despite the utilitarian look of this, it actually looks fairly comfortable with this nice padding on the back and sort of this campfire seat look to it on the bottom with the canvas or whatever material that is stretched across the bars. I do like that there is some additional storage nets over here, which is really quite cool, and of course lots of space here. Now this is obviously a great way for folks to enter the ship, but you do want something that can open up where you can move all of your different cargo units in and out of this particular vessel, and that's where the ramp comes in. Now we're not going to open this ramp. I don't think it'll even let us open the ramp because we are very, very close to the back of the or the side of the window here, rather side wall of the hangar inside of this Carrack. But the reason why I parked it like this is because I wanted to demonstrate to you how awesome this little thing is, that you can have two of these. You can have an MPUV personnel and an MPUV cargo, which is what this is, inside your ship, and you no longer have to worry about flying your Carrack down through the atmosphere, landing it on a pad. You can conserve your fuel and stay here in space while some of your friends go down and check things out on the surface. That is absolutely awesome, and I seem to have forgotten where the doors in my hangar are since I neglect this poor Carrack and I don't fly in it nearly as much as I would like to. But that is going to do it for the interior and the exterior tour. Again, what's really cool is this thing is so small that you can put it just about anywhere. Giggity. But let's go ahead and move on and talk about the upgrades that we might be able to get. Again, there might not be too many as this is a very small ship at this time, but I'm sure that that is going to expand in the future as the game expands along with it. Let's go back to the space station and have a look at the modules. Alright, so we've made it back to Everest Harbor, and despite the ship being a little bit smaller than most, we do still have some choice, surprisingly. So let's go ahead and go over that together now. Of course, if you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Additionally, I will be posting links for the default loadout for this ship as well as my loadout. Again, it's not going to make a world of difference, but it's what I would recommend and it's what I'm going to run. And of course, you can always share your own as well. So F1 to open up the mobi-glass, and second button down here, the vehicle loadout manager. You want to go ahead and click on the menu on the top right hand corner of the screen here. And we're going to scroll down and try to find the Argo. I do want to give a quick shout out and thank you to one of our community members here on YouTube. I was having a horrible issue with my mouse cursor, and turns out it is as a result of the toggleable, is that a word? It is now, trigger on my Virpil Constellation Alpha joystick. You have to have that pushed in for this to work. Otherwise, if you have it pushed out, as I'll do right now, it's going to make your mouse basically disappear after about half a second or so. So thank you to whoever made that comment. I'm not 100% sure who it was, but super helpful, and I really, really appreciate it. If any of you have Virpil sticks, make sure to do that, or just unplug your joystick so you don't have these kinds of mouse issues in Star Citizen. That being said, let's go ahead and load up the adorable little Argo cargo here. Man, I love this thing. It's so cool. It's just, it's so underutilized, honestly, and I think that I'm glad it's receiving the attention that it's receiving now with Ship Showdown, and absolutely taking it to the C2 Hercules, which is just hilarious and super memey. But yeah, it's awesome, and I'm really happy for this ship. I am going to end up picking up probably one or two for myself. That being said, let's go ahead and look over on the system side of things. Now, you know that we usually look at propulsion first, but as you can imagine, I don't know if somebody's noticed us in the background, but they're goofing off. That's awesome. I think I'm going to keep this in the video. So we're going to look at the systems first because there's no propulsion. Propulsion is, of course, the only thing that's in there is the quantum drive. Now, this thing does not have a quantum drive. So we're not going to be looking at that, but that's still okay. It's great for doing things like planetary landings. If you want to keep your Carrack in low orbit, that will allow you to move things and people to and from, and you're not going to have to worry too much about it. It's not, of course, going to be autonomous traveling between, different sort of larger expanses of space because it doesn't have that quantum drive. But that's okay. It's good for what it is. Now, these size 0 components here, the coolers, we're not going to worry too much about them. And the reason why is because these are all largely the same. I do hope that this thing would have at least like one size 1 cooler instead of 2 size 0s. Hopefully that's a change maybe that CIG would make in the future. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. But I think given that this is definitely quite a lot larger than something like a Nox or any of the other smaller things like, you know, the Cyclones and all the smaller vehicles and stuff, it's definitely bigger, and it is a self-contained spaceship. So it definitely should have, in my opinion, a size 1. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and I don't know if or when we're going to be getting any more choices than this. None of these are particularly fantastic, so we're just going to go ahead and move on to the power plant. Now with the power plant, we do have a choice, which is really nice. I was actually really surprised, and pleasantly so, to see that we have a single size 1 power plant and a size 1 shield generator as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the power plants. Now it does come with this roughneck. It is a grade 4, which is not good. And it is industrial, which does make sense for the type of ship that this is. If you want to learn a little bit more, though, about what all of this means, the different sizes and grades, and also the classes and stuff like that, make sure to go check out my Understanding Ship Components video. I link to it a lot, and I think it's because it's honestly one of my most popular videos, and it's very, very helpful in explaining what all of this different stuff is so that you can make your own decision as well when you're choosing between power plants and shield generators and all sorts of different types of components. That being said, we have quite a few of the JS series, so we're going to go ahead and choose that. As you know, I'm a big fan of the JS series. I know that there are possibly other power plants out there that provide a little bit more juice, but I don't know, something about the JS series. It's just been very consistent for me, and I've really enjoyed them, and they've done a good job in all of the ships that I run. So that is going to be a staple, and we're going to go ahead and pick that. Of course, you can pick something else if you want. If you want a stealthy or sort of like a quiet Argo cargo here, then you could probably go with one of the TD ones. I believe for the power plant that was the Slipstream, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see what we have. It is the Slipstream, yeah, and we do have a couple here. So if you want to go with an Argo cargo stealth build, you can definitely do that. But for our purposes today, we're going to be going with the JS series. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so that's the power supply. And moving on to the shield generator now. I'm not sure if you guys have read about this, or if you've watched my previous videos where I've talked about the changes in 3.14 with respect to how shield generators now work. Basically, everything on the smaller side of the spectrum, so the spectrum being size 1 through size 4, size 1 being generally the smallest. There are size 0s, I believe, as well, but those are for the smaller vehicles. We're talking about for spaceships. So for spaceships, it's size 1 to size 4. Size 1 is the smallest, which is what'll fit on this. Size 4 is the biggest, which will fit on something like an 890 Jump, a capital ship, okay? So the difference now is that you don't really have a choice within each particular size category whether you want to, you know, prioritize your regeneration rate or whether you want to prioritize your pool. You do not have that choice anymore, and I think that's coming back at some point in the future, but it's basically been dumbed down because I think CIG just sort of wants a good place to start in order to start rebalancing all this stuff. So having a good reference, like a neutral reference point, is definitely helpful, and that's what this is. But that being said, now your choices are really just with which one you think sounds cool, at least at the moment. Basically, because of the changes in 3.14, all of the shield generators of a given size, for example, every single shield generator of size 1 will have the same regen, the same shield pool. As you go to size 2, those will have a bigger shield pool and slightly slower regen, but all of them will have the same numbers among all the size 2 shields, and the same with size 3s and the same with size 4s. The only big difference is that once you go above size 3 or size 3 and above, then the facings are still there, whereas the facings have been removed on smaller shields. So for example, sizes 1 and 2, they don't have facings anymore. If you've played Star Citizen before 3.14, then you might notice that your shields have facings, and in fact your ship will still show you that they have facings, meaning forward, aft, and of course the port side and starboard side. Well, the smaller ships don't have that anymore. No matter where you get hit, your shield will be drained as a single shield pool, and you won't have to worry about that. The larger ships still have to worry about that, and it's anyone's guess as to whether that's going to be normalized, where shield facings will just be eliminated altogether, or whether that will just be something that will be reserved for larger ships. In any case, that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and choose one of our favorites here, which is the FR66. We've got plenty of these. And again, you can choose just about anything else here. If you were going for a stealth build, which I think would be definitely fine, you would probably want to choose the Umbra, although I'm not sure if I have... Oh, it would be the Mirage, I'm sorry. So it would be the Mirage for stealth builds. And in fact, I think what we might do for this one is we might choose all stealth components anyway, because as I said before, all of the shields here, they're all providing the same amount of shield pool and regen as all the other ones in their size. So why not reduce your signature as well at the same time? So we're going to go ahead and go with the Mirage here, but I am going to stick with the JS300 for the power plant. And that's about it. I'm not sure if there's any paints out for the Argo ships, these little small ones anyway. Do let me know in the comments if you know if there's any other ones available. I only started playing Star Citizen since 2014, so I'm not 100% sure if there are any special skins for the Argo Cargo or the Argo personnel, but do let me know if there are. Well, folks, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching this special, super clickbaity Star Citizen video about the Argo Cargo, the legendary Titanic of a mammoth taking on the C2 in the Ship Showdown. We shall see who the winner is, although I'm sure by the time this video goes up and is being viewed, that winner has already been likely chosen. But in any case, I appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with me, and learning about the Argo Cargo. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, of course. Feel free to also join us on our stream. We stream Wednesdays and Fridays on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern, and our Discord community. We have some amazing people here, guys. Honestly, super nice folks that would love to meet, chat, and play with you. So come on by. Links are in the description for both. And most importantly, if you found this video helpful or enjoyable, or if I just made you smile a little bit, then feel free to drop that like button there to let me and YouTube know. Of course, also subscribe if you're new, since I post videos weekly, and make sure to ring the bell so that you never miss anything in the future. Go ahead and check out the merch at ssbgaming.com. I'm just going to plug that real quick, and you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.